at her. Let's get at her. It is another episode of the Mainly Broncos podcast, and we are excited because we have a first-time guest. We've been trying to kind of lock him down a little bit, but we were finally able to get him down. Unfortunately, it's after a loss, but I'm sure all of us are going to have a lot to say. But J-Mac, welcome to the program, man. Obviously excited to have you. You do a great show there with Denver Trav and Orange Crush Hour.
Yeah.
And obviously you have some history with this guy over here on the top right, but no, it's great to have you, and it's always a blast to get a chance to talk Broncos football, win or lose.
Yeah, man. Hey, look, I'm glad to be on. First off, I know we have been trying to get this in for a minute now. I'm glad. I'm just glad I came on, bro. But the Broncos. It was a terrible loss on Sunday. But I'm glad to talk about it and get into it for sure, man. I can't wait.
We got the Jordans back.
Man,
it was separated for a bit, but you gotta get the Jordans back, especially after a loss like this. I know J-Mac's favorite wide receiver did good, so I know we're gonna talk about that later and stuff. But it's glad to get back on the screen with them. I mean, it's been a long waited thing, but imagine being at the stadium like how I was. He was. You know what, bro? I'm starting to peep every time we go to the game. Like it's just always something happening. I was undefeated last season. It was just the year prior.
Yeah, because I remember we dropped 70 when you was there. We got the shocking win against Tampa when you was there, and then we just suffered a heartbreaking loss. So it's like, I don't know how to feel about you when you go to the game. I don't know about that.
I was gonna say there's really only one game probably on Jordan's ledger that was actually really solid, and that was that Falcons game.
Last year. Because something always historic has to happen. That was a historic game against Atlanta because of Bo Nix. Something historic is going to happen. So,
well, something may historic in the sense of us seeing a field goal situation that you rarely see, but we'll definitely talk about that. First things first, make sure you hit that subscribe button for the MHRT Network channel. We also do a YouTube channel for Mainly Broncos that you guys can also hit up. And we're doing a whole bunch of short form content where we're taking clips from this show and we're putting it over on TikTok, Instagram. We're sharing clips on X and Twitter. I believe it's on the actual podcast and everything. But it's an exciting time for the network, and of course, the Mainly Broncos podcast. Make sure you follow the boys. Follow J-Mac, there over on socials. Follow Jordan at Jordan T. Lopez. Follow Brandon at Brandon Miller PO. Brandon, thanks for hopping in.
Apparently, this headset is incredibly sensitive.
You actually look like an offensive coordinator, by the way, like our own Davis Webb.
Yeah. Well, I just finished moving, so the microphone is not even remotely close to set up. Hopefully, this is decent. Is it really, really sensitive?
It's better now.
Okay. We'll see how it goes. But no, I'm the new special teams coordinator because we desperately need one.
Oh, good.
I was gonna say it was that, or expecting a random Spider Y2 banana call, on the stream, but no, it was.
They had to give me a care package for that shit.
Thank you to everybody that's hopping in the chat. I see Victory Lap early. Thank you so much for hopping in. Again, also too with the stream, we are streaming on the YouTube channels for both MHRT Network and Mainly Broncos. We're also streaming, of course, on our X Twitter accounts. So we're streaming on my Twitter account. We are streaming on Brandon's Twitter account, who has decided to accept the fact that there are two Brandon Millers in the world, just like there are two Brandon Marshalls in the world. And, so make sure you retweet the boys.
There's actually three of us. The third one is a member of the Lumineers.
Oh, that's good.
Well, at least the comment section has calmed down on your Brandon Miller.
I was gonna say, yeah,
stuff and selling parlays and guns and stuff. But
no, anyway, make sure you follow and share the stream, of course. Let's dive into it. Obviously, JMac, you're the guest, so we'll get your thoughts initially. Obviously, I think for me, it's one where it's like I'm not discouraged in a sense long term. I'm more pissed off than anything, But kind of take us through when you look at this game, because I think the best way to look at it, and I heard a Bronco fan mention this. I've actually even heard Sayer Bettinger mention this in our PO Slack chat, and it's probably the appropriate way to say it. And it's, you had the first week of the season where it was all defense. The defense was exactly what we could have asked for. The second week of the season was everything we could have asked for from the offense. The defense, on the other hand, they kind of left their talents over there in an Empower field.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, look, I would agree with that wholeheartedly. I think we kind of seeing a trend with Sean Payton start the season off. He, for some reason, just loves to start the season off a little shaky and give Bronco fans some heart attacks. But I'm not, a lot of fans was really overreacting to the game, in my opinion. The Colts, it's always been a trap game for us. They always give us a dog fight. This is going back to when I first started watching football, bro. I don't know what it is about this team. They're pissed about Elway. They pissed about Payton. Like, bro, I don't know what it is, bro. But every time they play us, it don't matter how good we are, how bad they are, vice versa. They just gonna say, bro, this is one of our Super Bowls. And they just go out there and just, I'm like, God damn, bro. Like, Daniel Jones just really just teed us up like that. But I would say, I'm not really too discouraged by the game. I'm not really tripping on the defense too much. That brother Alex Singleton, I'm gonna just be real with you. I legit had hope for him, man. I mean, look, in week 1, he played well, bro, but it must have just been them Tennessee receivers, because the way they was like, it was a lot of mental mistakes on his part. Like, I don't think it was just really just had anything to do with his ability physically. It was mental mistakes. Like, you're motioning out to Stranad to get Jonathan Taylor. They snapped the ball. You still looking at Jonathan Taylor. And you let Tyler Warren literally right past you down the seam. Same thing with the Jonathan Taylor swing route that went for 70 yards, was it, or something like that? No, I think that one went for like 43, where he literally just saw Jonathan Taylor motion and said, "You know what? I'm gonna give it about 2 to 3 seconds before I start running." And then next thing you know, 3 yard. But yeah, I'm not really too discouraged on the defense. I think the Broncos will be fine moving forward. I was more concerned, honestly, like Pat got hurt. I was more concerned about what I saw on the offensive side of the ball. Just to be honest, I don't know about most Bronco fans, but that was me. I've been preaching it since the off season. I've been preaching it since the season ended last year. And everybody likes to come at me some type of way in my DMs, to come in the comments saying I'm a Cortland Sutton hater. We need an elite wide receiver 1, and we need a safety blanket receiver for our second-year quarterback. If we don't get him one, I don't know how the season is going to end up turning out, but we need to find a way to get him one, or somebody needs to step up as one, bro, because this is the second week in a row you look shaky against 3rd and 4th string corners. Let me rephrase that. 3rd and 4th string corners. Mekhi Blackman, Jonathan Edwards, and Xavier Howard. Kenny Moore was pressing this man in the slot, pressing him at the line of scrimmage. Yeah, we just got to definitely get that figured out. Hopefully, we can figure something out by the deadline, but I think that's the only missing piece that this team is needing.
Well, take us through it, Jordan, because Jordan, I should say, over there in the top right. But you were there, and it might be a little bit overreactionary. Obviously, I had a tweet about it, but possibly wide receiver 1 emerged out of that game in Troy Franklin. And I realize that's quite a bit overreactionary to kind of think that, but I think that in terms of the game itself, I think that had the Broncos won that game or even lost that, they lost the game, but the number one takeaway for me, even just coming out of that offense, is despite the fact that Cortland Sutton continues to have those slow starts, Franklin really emerged, right? Like really emerged in that game to where like they were scheming him open, something we kind of rarely saw from a Broncos offense over the last couple of years, to where we kind of saw with Marvin Mims at the midway point. But like that was really impressive to see.
Listen, whenever I attend these games, I try to primarily look at the weapons because it's hard to look at it from like the TV copy because obviously they're not following the receivers and stuff. So when I'm at the game, I'm looking at the wide receivers, I'm looking at the secondary. I'm rarely looking at offensive line, defensive line. So again, as a guy that loves wide receivers, I'm looking at Troy Franklin, Marvin Mims, Cortland Sutton, all these guys, even like Evan Ingram whenever he lined up out wide, and we'll get into that whole ordeal in a bit. But like the way Troy Franklin was utilized, I feel like that could happen on a consistent basis throughout the whole season. Like it wasn't nothing special. I thought all the things he did was kind of within his skill set, and his skill set is a very good one. It wasn't like he was making like incredible catches and he had to work hard for everything. It was just pretty easy catches, pitching catches and stuff like that. I know he had that one nice scramble drill catch that he had with Bo Nix, but besides that, his skill set can be utilized in so many ways that it can look easy on the offense. And J-Mac knows this. We've been talking about it since last year. We just haven't had a receiver to make it easy on the offense. Everything looks so hard. And that comes back to not having a real wide receiver one. And I even wrote about it on Predominantly Orange. I'm hoping Troy Franklin can take that step because if he does, he can be that true top dog for this Broncos offense and make things a bit easier. And I'll say this. I know I tweeted it. I even wrote about it today. I'll say it again on here. I understand Cortland Sutton right now is wide receiver one on this team, or at least on the depth chart reasons. But if your wide receiver one can only move the chains on back shoulder fades, defensive pass interference, and really good hitch routes and stuff like that, listen,
That's it.
I mean, it's going to be hard as an offense to be a consistent, guy to move the chains. Again, we saw a great first half. I mean, none of it by Sutton. It was more Mims and Franklin. But again, in the second half, only 7 points. Again, It's the inconsistency part. We really didn't have a guy to go to at moments where we really needed him. I know at some points in the second half, the Colts made some type of adjustments to take care of Franklin. But again, we were supposed to rely on our number one guy. Wasn't there. Again, I think he had, one catch, 6 yards. I mean, 6 more yards than all of us. So, again, that's a big problem, and it needs to be resolved pretty soon.
Obviously, we're talking a little bit more of the positives. We'll talk, of course, with the negatives a little bit more regarding the defense. But Brandon, I was actually really looking forward to not seeing, the cameras, maybe see, possibly like facial reactions, maybe about like maybe you were annoyed or, frustrated with the offense or, whatever. But no, nonetheless, Brandon, how did you feel kind of like as far as this offense goes? And specifically, we were talking about Troy Franklin, and I think win or lose, that is kind of the number one takeaway, from that game.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because on the one hand, I mean, Bo started out pretty hot when you look at least his first half, but the offense, I don't know, like I feel like a lot of people talk about how it was more of like, again, a defensive problem for this game, and the offense like did their job or did enough to win. And I don't know if I would necessarily agree with that. Like I think again, it started pretty well, but it was kind of underwhelming for the most part. I mean, Troy Franklin was to me really the one bright spot. Like the Troy Franklin breakout is here. And then Mims as well is carving out a pretty nice role in this offense. But other than that, like there really was nothing to write home about on the offensive side of the ball, in my opinion. Like Bo had some good throws. He also had some bad throws, and like that late interception, like, yeah, I understand he was trying to like change his arm because it was going to get hit as he was letting go of it.
It was tipped too. I think it was tipped.
Yeah. I think that's what he meant by tipped, is like it kind of hit. It still hit the arm of the defender.
Yeah.
but you just can't have that. And like, I understand that's not necessarily on him, but I just feel like
It is.
he
but
looked
kind of thing.
he looked better than he did in week 1, but I still think he's not in the kind of rhythm that you are going to need him to be in this offense in order to get to a point where, to where like you're able to have any kind of confidence in making the postseason, even as a wild card. Like, I think that's to me my biggest takeaway is maybe this is going to be the Bo Nix, Sean Payton era, and it's very similar to the Joe Burrow Bengals era where they just start incredibly slow. And I know that's kind of been a thing for Sean Payton for a bit, but is it on him? Is it on Bo? Is it both? I don't know, but that's definitely, it's not what you want to see. The amount of turnovers that Bo has had in 2 games is concerning, and he did this last year, and then he kind of cleaned it up. But I think he was better than week 1, but he's still not. To me, it's like, what have you been doing for the past 6+ months, right? Like, I just haven't seen. I wouldn't necessarily call it a sophomore slump, but I haven't seen a jump either. And I mean, I do think part of that can be attributed to the weapons that he doesn't have right in front of him and available to throw to. I mean, Evan Ingram is still basically non-existent, so we still don't have a tight end. And yeah, I mean, Troy Franklin being what we saw him be in training camp and in the preseason is definitely a bonus, but I don't think it was less concerning, but it's still something I'm going to keep my eye on for the next couple of weeks because that needs to get, like, Bo needs to get better. Just straight up, Bo needs to get better, or we're not going to have a shot. Even if the defense improves, to be honest.
I think the thing for me is just we're still talking about a second-year player. Sophomore slump, maybe that's a thing. I don't know. But even if you compare it relative to what we saw last year, you are talking about a completely different quarterback. And the turnovers to me, you're looking at it from the standpoint of that week 1 performance carries a lot. It's like it's almost inflated a little bit because week 1 carries so much of what's been happening even through the first 2 weeks, because Bo had 1 turnover in the Colts game and then 3 in the Titans game. So like that's going to be carrying a lot of the weight as far as the turnovers. Obviously, was it Bo's fault? Was it not Bo's fault? That's going to be in a conversation. It happened. And Bo obviously is going to be taking the blame for it, but I just think relative to his development and what we looked for last year, this is progress. Like, to me, like, this is progress from what we've seen from Bo, because the fact that he was able to switch like that and play better in week 2 than what we saw last year, which was, okay, we're slow out of the gate and we're getting better each week, but it's like, okay, now the lights are really cooking once that Tampa Bay Buccaneers game hit, which was like week 4, almost like week 5, right? So it's just like one where it's like, okay, like the fact that it was a bit quicker, and we are seeing Bo still take a little bit more command of the huddle and command of the actual team and making a lot of decisions pre-snap, I think is something that can't go unnoticed. And I think that maybe it's one where I think relative of the offense from what we saw as a consistency, I think, yeah, it's a problem. But I think that as things progress during the season, I don't think it's actually going to be I think it's going to be far more of a good thing than a bad thing. And that is the fact that we saw the emergence of Franklin and Marvin Mims, at least in the early part of the season, because you just also kind of have to call it for what it is with Cortland Sutton too. It's like he's also a slow starter too. For some reason, he's a slow starter, and he picks it up after like 3 or 4 weeks, or whatever it may be, like in the at least the early part of the season, and then he starts kind of picking it up and starts producing. So I just think it's kind of like a mixture of like, okay, we have kind of like a bunch of slow starters. And the fact that we are still seeing some progress where the offense was better and one week the defense was insane. That first week, just get it together. Let's get a complete game, and we'll see what we can go from there.
When I say that I didn't see the jump that I would expect to see, it was more to do with two specific things that were an issue for Bo last year that are still kind of an issue for Bo this year in the first 2 weeks. And I do agree. I think he understands the offense better, and I think he has more control to line of scrimmages, doing more stuff, which I like. The biggest thing is he doesn't set his feet still. I mean, he's really, really good at throwing on the run. It's actually crazy. And he's much better at throwing on the run, running to his left. That is massively improved. That long pass that he had down the left sideline, running to his left, he does not complete that pass last year at all. But he still is not getting into the rhythm you want to see him get into, where he's dropping back, setting his feet, and throwing the ball. And I think that kind of is partially to blame for the second problem, which is still the intermediate part of the field is still not the best. Week 1 against the Titans, he had 3 completions past 10 yards. One of them was a touchdown, and 2 picks past 10 yards. Week 2, he had 3 completions past 10 yards. One of them was half a foot in front, but still, and then through that pick. So I'm not saying he can't get better there, but I think those two things are connected, and that's where I want to see improvement from Bo in this offense. And I understand if that's the offense is shorter stuff, but that's kind of more what I meant. I do think he has improved in some areas, throwing to the left, throwing when he's running to the left, and just his knowledge of the offense for sure definitely looks better. But there's just some things that are still an issue that were an issue last year is more what I meant.
Yeah, I would say in week 1, you could kind of see they came out ultra aggressive. They came out really just abandoning the run game and was they were throwing the ball a lot. And I think that was Sean trying to see what this offense was capable of, what the playmakers are going to look like and stuff like that. And turnovers killed us because of it, honestly. I would agree with pretty much a lot of what Brandon said. I think, his biggest improvement for me is just, like you said, knowing the playbook, him audibling as much as he is. I think that's a huge plus for this offense. And a lot of the stuff he checks out of, in the Colts game, they resulted in big plays. So I do want to give him his credit for that. In terms of the middle of the field goals, those intermediate throws, that's where the safety blanket comes in. That's where a quarterback has to have that guy where you can rely on him to get open in the middle of the field. And we just don't really have that. Troy Franklin, yeah, he had a really good game, but asking a dude who's entering his breakout and making the leap as these weeks go by to be your wide receiver 1 against you could ball out against the injured Colts team, but next week you play the Chargers and it's you're going up against Harbaugh, you're going up against those young, gritty corners. It's going to be a definitely hard matchup for him. And that's all I'm saying. You got to have some type of safety blanket for him. And I think that's kind of what we're seeing in the struggles. You watch on the film, Bo's still making really good throws. Now the picks he had in the first game were bad, but all I saw was ran the ball more. It was more fair. Even in week 1, running the ball won us the game. Week 2, I thought JK was great. But we didn't even get to special teams yet. But as far as the offense goes, I just think the intermediate part of the offense, we need that safety blanket. We really do. Because, you can go watch the Rams game. You watch Matthew Stafford just comfortably making throws to Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua in the middle of the field. He knows those guys are going to be open. It's same thing in New England. It's the same thing around the league when you got that guy a wide receiver, obviously besides Philly because they just got Saquon and that offensive line. But, you look around the league and quarterbacks who have the most success, they just got that one guy they can go to on third down where it's a 3rd and 5 and you just need a quick throw. You need a guy to win one-on-one. And the Broncos just don't have that. When your number 1 guy, like Jordan said, he doesn't really create much separation one-on-one in the open field. And that's just you hear Bo talk about it after the game. He blames himself. He wants to get Sutton more involved. And look, I feel him. You're going to take blame for not giving your wide receiver 1 involved. But I just think of that one meme that I always see. I think it's it was a SpongeBob meme when Mr. Crab tells Squidward, how do we tell him? How do we tell him? Somebody got to tell Bo, you can't force the ball to Cortland Sutton. And I think two of his picks so far have been him trying to force the ball to Cortland Sutton when it's not really there. And you just can't do it, bro. Like, I understand you're trying to give your wide receiver one the ball, but if he's just not getting open, bro, he's just not getting open. There's really nothing you could do. You could try to throw him to get open, but Sean has to tell him, like, 14 most of the time not going to be there. You got to go. You got to look at Mims. You got to look at Franklin. You got to look at Ingram if you can. And as far as Evan Ingram goes, we got to do a way better job of utilizing him. He doesn't look great, to be honest. He doesn't look what I thought he was going to look like, but we still got to find a way to give him the ball in space. And it's sad when week 1 and week 2, when the teams are adjusting and they're putting their best guy on Troy, they're putting their second best guy on Evan Ingram, and they're putting the third best guy on Cortland Sutton, and we're still not having that success in the middle of the field. I mean, it's frustrating to watch the film, bro, because it's like, God damn, man.
Yeah, and I think that probably that overarching theme of Sutton is like, it's the problem I think that we've kind of run into in terms of, I shouldn't say problem, but like the talking points we've run into with him, which is, as Victory Lap mentions, is that like he may be a wide receiver 1 here as it currently stands, but in the grand scheme of things, he's not really a wide receiver 1 as a whole. Mm-hmm. But to a certain degree, just based off of Sean Payton, he's never really had the Jamar Chases of the world, the Justin Jeffersons of the world, in his offense. He's kind of like operated it in the vein of like
Thomas of the world.
Like Michael Thomas, sure, but like we're talking about a guy that was like injured, and really couldn't keep himself healthy. He was productive, but if you can prolong it to be that way for, I don't know, 9 years, 10 years, like that's the kind of guy like, the Broncos really do need. And, maybe that's Troy, but I think that, wherein lies, and we briefly mentioned Evan Ingram there, is like, it's one where, look, it's way too soon to be writing something off, right? Like it's way too soon to be writing something off. And it's clear that Evan Ingram was brought in to be the Joker. His tweet was a pretty evident fact of that. I also think this Colts game was a nice measuring stick or barometer for how they can use Evan Ingram, like the Colts used Tyler Warren. Like in terms of like how they wanted to use him. I mean, you use him as like, places where, you do have him as like an extra like fullback if you didn't want to use, Prentice or, Atkins or, Mike Burton, whenever, that decides to happen. But like, use him in certain situations where he's going to be an explosive weapon for your team, seam routes, etc. Like he's a tight end. He's going to end up, being an inline tight end, but like, it's that time where maybe you don't want to let him like loose now, you know what I mean? Like now, because you still want to like, make sure the load management is good for him, but you want to still make sure that he's, showing those explosive plays, just like we saw in that first play or second play in preseason, where it's like, oh, that it's there. Like there is still something there with Evan Ingram. So now we just got to see it.
Yeah.
I mean, for at least for me, like, again, the positives were like Franklin. I think this is his breakout year, and I'm glad that it's happening now because it looks like out of all the years now that we're going to need him the most, and a true guy like a Franklin with the ball in his hands. Ingram can also be that guy, but again, we saw today on the injury report, now he's with a back as well. So that came out of nowhere. So he hasn't been healthy. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But also, like, I understand the comparison to Tyler Warren, which is also a good one in terms of like utilizing him the right way. But there was also one play that Evan Ingram. I mean, I understand like going into it when we signed him, I knew that he wasn't a great blocker, but that was nicely put because he got, I think it was Troy Franklin, almost literally killed on the screen pass, and that's a big problem because I think whenever we do put Evan Ingram out there, like teams are not gonna account him as a tight end no more. I think they're just simply put him as a receiver, and they're gonna bring out their nickel package and dime package, which again, those guys are gonna be a little bit more faster than Evan Ingram. But I believe Peyton will, maneuver around those certain packages and try to get the defense off guard a little bit. But like there's also going. It's not happening now, but I'm afraid that as we get onto the season, there's going to be a constant theme of if Ingram's in the game, we kind of know what's going to happen, and then when he's off the field, and we put in like a Troutman and Nate Atkins when he comes back, that you kind of know we're going to run the ball because those are our blocking tight ends and stuff like that. So I just don't want this offense not to get a little bit one dimensional. I know this offense already has enough problems as it is, and again, I know we're mentioning a lot of, I guess, negative stuff, but at the end of the day, they still did put up 28 points. I mean, they had a good game. It was just that inconsistent second half where you look so good in the first half. How do you have that second half where it looked like everything was rolling? But yeah, I'm just glad that on the positive side, Troy Franklin looked really, really good. Marvin Mims is carving out the role. Then our run game, we actually have a run game with J.K. Dobbins and RJ Harvey hopefully soon. But yeah, that's what I came out with.
Yeah, the true sickos will appreciate that Nate Atkins is now off the injury report. So RJ Harvey is going to actually have a rushing game against the Chargers. Well, at least more of one.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that we actually necessarily haven't had a conversation about this too. It's like, yeah, I think the highest ceiling for this team from the running back side of things is pretty easy to not ignore, and that is the Jamar Gibbs, David Montgomery, type of situation of, for JK and RJ. But I think that we also have to remember too, like Jahmyr Gibbs started out slow with Detroit, right? Like Gibbs started out slow. And because like I remember that being, obviously it was a fantasy thing, but like that was a big thing amongst like fantasy owners and everything about like, oh, David Montgomery is getting the vast majority of the carries. Where's RJ Harvey? And I think that, at least in the early stages for JK, he's actually playing, and he's playing really well. Like he's actually playing really well. And I think that, when you think about a running game and the way things can progress as the season moves on, I think you will start to see RJ Harvey's, carries and production go up a little bit. But I think it's really nice to see in the early stages that JK looks fresh, he looks good. Yeah. And he's pretty decisive on his runs.
Tyler Bidet being the kind of designated pass catching running back after 2 weeks is not on my bingo card for this season. I'm not mad at it. I think it actually is working pretty well. But I definitely did not see that coming. Good for Bidet, man.
Like but it also is one where it's like, and maybe it's like reading between the lines, but it's like, is it one where Jaleel was like on maternity leave to a degree? Because like he did have he and the fam did have the baby, and so it's one where this is just where Sean is allowing Jaleel to be with the family and be with the baby, and everything. But yeah, I think that's the part too, is like he's clearly also proven to be a better pass protection back, right, than RJ Harvey. Although, look, I realize that it's one of those things like that we talk so much, right, J-Mac? Like Harvey is like he's not going to be the world beater, like the best pass protecting back, but as long as he's willing to do it, I guess like that's somewhat all that matters. But it's still one of those things, like you can tell the difference between Dobbins, Bidet, and Harvey when it comes to that pass protection.
Hey man, pay me $3 million and I'm willing to attempt to block Myles Garrett. It doesn't mean I can do
it. To be fair,
I'm 6'2", 240.
I was gonna say you're at least built.
I don't think it'll work.
You're at least built like Alex Singleton.
I don't know, man. That guy's gonna kill me.
Yeah, I mean, look, I will say about the run game. I mean, it's night and day from last year. JK's been everything we could have asked for. I'm being just completely honest. Tyler Bidet, yeah, that was not for sure. Like Brandon said, that was not on my bingo card at all. If you would have told me he'd have been the primary pass catching back in this offense, I'd have been like, so why the hell did we draft RJ Harvey? But I mean, I think they're definitely gonna work Harvey in a little bit more. This game, JK was just eating, man. And I will say that is the one thing that I'm taking away from this offense is that but we can run the ball. And I think, we're going to shift our identity to running the ball. But I want to say, Jordan, you did bring up a good point. I've been saying it. We still need another tight end. Yeah, we got Evan Ingram, but like we need to get another tight end to kind of disguise things better because anytime Ingram's not on the field, it's a run or it's going to be some type of play action. We already know what it's going to be. Most likely it's going to be a run when he's not on the field. And also for Evan Ingram, man, I get he can line up out wide, but that doesn't mean line him up out wide like every single time he's on the field. Bro. Like you got to put him in the slot and let him, because I'm like, you're asking him to go beat like corners and safeties every play, and it's just not going to be
being Cortland Sutton almost.
Yeah, I mean, like you got to put them in the slot a little bit. Like I would love for them to do what they did with Tyler Warren, motion them as the fullback and let them run a route. Like just dice it up a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But I think they will as the season goes along. I just think Sean is just one of those guys where he just gonna get better as the season goes along. I mean, we kind of seen it ever since he's been here. We'll start the season off a bit sluggish, and then all of a sudden we'll just come out of the gate firing on all cylinders. And I think this team definitely has I say special teams for sure got to get better, but we're gonna get into that. As far as the offense goes, I think the offense will start picking it up a little bit. I think this week, definitely in the Chargers game for sure. I think they will. I think we're going to see a better, more fluid offense. I think we'll definitely.
You mean opened up a little bit more?
I think it's going to be opened up a little bit more. I think Sean, hopefully Sean realizes that it is what it is. We got to get Mims the ball. We got to get Franklin the ball. Put Pat Bryant out there a little bit more, and let's get Ingram. Let's draw some plays for Ingram in the passing game. But yeah.
I would love it. I think the Chargers is definitely going to be a pretty sizable test in week 3 here. I mean, they're the only defense aside from the Packers that has not allowed a single touchdown in the first half. Mm-hmm. It's only 2 games, but like the Chargers defense looks kind of legit. It looks better than our defense right now, which the bar was not the highest after what we just gave up. But, I could see this even being a little bit of the Dolphins. Not to the same extent, but give up 400 yards of offense, and then you come out next week and you change some stuff enough to a point where you like lock it down a little bit more. You shouldn't even have to do that in professional football, but here we are, and that's kind of just what we've seen happen. But I think this is definitely going to be a pretty sizable test for Bo Nix to continue to try to make additional strides in the areas that he needs to make. I just want to see him air it out a little bit more. Just like throw some
40 times a game
or hooks. What's that?
40 times a game?
No, man. Just throw some 15-yard passes, man. That's all I want. 20 yards. Like you don't have to dink and dunk all the time. I mean, I get, if you're gonna go up against, a 2-eye safety look, like obviously you're not going to necessarily be able to do that, but that's just what I want to see from Bo. I want to see him take a snap, drop back in a clean pocket. And I do think his pocket presence looked better against the Colts for sure. But I do want to see him like run more plays. I mean, ironically, I want to see him run more plays inside the structure of the offense and not, do the run around because he's good at it and he can do it. But like the true efficiency of this offense is going to come when you can do that if the structure of the play is not there. And I want to see him do more, like take a straight drop back, go through your reads, like be well protected, because this offensive line, even though it's not been necessarily the best in terms of run blocking, it's still been pretty good for pass blocking, and hit a 15-yard in breaker over the middle of the field. Like that's what I want to see.
I mean, and so I think that for when we talk about in terms of just the playmakers as we kind of round that out a little bit, I think that's where we might have a chance to see things get opened up a little bit more. So like obviously schematically, it seemed like they were really scheming Franklin specifically open. I think the Chargers game is one where you will see a little bit more of not just Franklin, but Marvin Mims. And I think that's like one of the best things because of that offense we talked about is that now that they were able to scheme up Franklin on some of the plays that they probably would for Marvin Mims, they can easily do some of that same stuff for Marvin. And so now it's like you have two different players now where they can do almost the exact same type of thing and be the same kind of explosive. And I think that's a big deal, for the offense. I think the other side of it too is like Jordan, we talked about it last week. We might have a chance to actually see it too, where, Bo's legs are a weapon. We didn't get a chance to see him scramble, all that much. He did it for, play here and there. He ran for 18 yards, explosive play, if you will. Maybe we get a chance to see him, do that a little bit more, design quarterback runs and everything, because it seems obvious, even dating back to last year, that his legs are a legitimate threat.
Yeah, I think starting this Chargers game and going forward, like our playbook is going to be more like expanded. You're going to see a lot more things that we were hoping to see to begin the season. For whatever reasons there were, that they just didn't open up the playbook in the first 2 weeks, or maybe they did. I hope they didn't, because if that's our seeding, then we're in big trouble. But I do believe that in this Chargers game, like we're going to see a lot more, like whether it's designed runs, more read options, more RPOs, try to get Bo's legs a little bit more involved. I've never been like the biggest fan of that's keep hiding the fact that Bo can run. That's why we can catch the defense off guard. Just let him go, let him run, like do those quarterback design runs. I mean, you don't see these dynamic quarterbacks, just for example, like a Jaden Daniels, let him just surprise the defense every once in a while with his legs. No, they run him. Run Bo. That's one of his best assets. Make him a +1 in the running game. It'll even be harder for the defense that they need to account for. But I do think that we'll see a little bit more of a explosive offense against the Chargers, even though the Chargers defense has been great. I mean, Jesse Minter has done a lot of great things with the Chargers and Derwin James and all that, who's the best safety right now in the league. But I do believe that Marvin Mims will be a lot more involved in the game plan. We can see him get a lot more touches in this game. I think it's going to be another good game for Troy Franklin as well. And I think the run game is going to be a consistent factor for Sean Payton and this Broncos offense, which is a good thing because, again, we didn't have that all last season. And now that we have a little bit more guys stepping up, it's a good thing. And that Colts game was a big step up in terms of the offense and just seeing what we have. Because, again, one thing, we can see what we have on paper. We have to see on the field. I think with these two games now that Sean Payne has film on, he kind of knows what we have now as an offense and stuff. So I think those necessary adjustments will be made.
I think the other part of it too is like for Bo, it feels like his confidence grows a little bit more when he starts using his legs. And so like when he starts using his legs more, you start to see his confidence and swagger go up a little bit more. And then that's where you see a little bit more of the aggressiveness, the deep shots, the, and stuff like that. So I think it would be really smart for something like that. Now let's talk about the stuff that probably pissed us off the most. Should we say maybe not discouraged for the entire season, but just pissed us off, and that was the Broncos defense. There's a couple takeaways, J-Mac, for me, and it's one where it's like, no, I'm not discouraged, as I said, for like a full season. But the other side of it, too, is the Colts might actually be a darn good football team under Shane Steichen, and specifically Daniel Jones, to kind of call, spade a spade and credit where credit is due. Daniel Jones played phenomenal. And for like 70% of the time that the Broncos blitzed, he diced them up. So I'm not worried about the Broncos defense, but boy, it was sure an eyebrow raiser.
Yeah, for sure it was. I mean, look, I'm going to be real with you. I've said it multiple times. I think Anthony Richardson held that Colts offense back tremendously last season. Shane Steichen has always been a great offensive mind. And when I went back and watched Richardson's film, like it was a lot of his first read is always the go ball. Whichever receiver's running the deepest route, that's where he's eyeing it down and he's missing the underneath routes. Man, Daniel Jones looks incredible. I mean, I'm gonna be real with you. Like the Colts offense, you have 4 really basically kind of deep threat / slot guys. You got, I don't care about Tyler Warren is an elite tight end.
Dude, Tyler Warren looks insane,
bro. This and you got a top 5 with top 7 offensive line, whatever you want to give them, and you got Jonathan Taylor, who's still one of the best backs in the league. So all of the pieces are there for Daniel Jones. The defense doesn't have to do too much, but the way Shane Steichen, like the way this offense looks night and day from Daniel Jones to Anthony Richardson, just goes to show how great of a play caller he is, and just that this offense is ready just to unleash. Like they got 4 guys over there. Like I thought it was gonna be a little test for us, but we didn't have an answer for it. We tried to run man coverage, we got diced up. We tried to run zone, we got diced up. The only time we had some success is when we played all 4 corners on the field with Miller, Barron, Surtain, and Raleigh Moss. And I'm not gonna lie, Alec Pierce was, my God. I mean, he had Raleigh Moss stressing, and I've been telling people about this Colts offense. I'm like, they're sneaky good. If it wasn't for Anthony Richardson not being able to just go through his reads and not be able to process day one information, I honestly think this team could have been a playoff team. I mean, they walked into Denver last year, and if it wasn't for Jonathan Taylor having a mental error that he's probably never done before in his career, they leave out of there with a win, and they probably may make the playoffs. So I wasn't all too surprised that we lost the game. I was just surprised that, like, damn, like, they offense looked flawless. Like, I mean, there was punted. Yeah, like there was times in the red zone where, we held up, but bro, I mean, they looked like a well-oiled machine. And Shane Steichen and Daniel Jones, I don't see them just falling off at some point during the season. The way their division is looking, it's wide open with the Texans being how they look.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just be real. In their comp, bro, you just beat Denver. This is a team that was projected to have the number 1 defense, and you stomped on them. You put up 29 on them. Like, and yeah, the Colts snuck out of there with the win. They did, because that was some old, man, that was ridiculous. But they snuck out of there with the win. But I'm gonna say Daniel Jones looks, him and Shane Steichen, they look good. And we've seen this before in the NFL. All it takes is fit. Even when you draft a QB in the league, everything is about fit. I mean, we're seeing that in Chicago with Caleb Williams. I mean, I'll be real with you. Like, it doesn't matter who you bring in for your coach. If you can't change a culture, and if you can't just adapt winning to a franchise, guys aren't just going to succeed. And we're seeing Daniel Jones go to it. Shane Steichen, where he's had success with Minshew. You've seen him when Flacco was in there last year. The offense looked night and day compared to Richardson. And we're seeing him. I mean, he's got everything at his disposal, to be honest with you. Like, even if guys go down, you got good backups coming in. If Tyler Warren's go down, Mo Alley Cox, he's not nothing to write home about. But, like, for a backup, it's solid. You got Jonathan Taylor. He looking like he back in his – he's looking like how he looked about 3 years ago. I mean, he looks –
Yeah.
I mean, So I was more on that side of thing. Like, the Colts aren't a team to just – like, if anyone – I'm going to be shocked if they just fall off a cliff. Like, if they lose the next 3 games, I'll be shocked.
Yeah, and I guess that, that's the thing, Brandon and Jordan, is like, I know J-Back mentioned Alex Singleton at the top, but it's like, I think that's like the one part that is like the discouraging part of all this is like, this defense, like, I'm not discouraged long-term about this, but I am meaning the defense, but I am discouraged about possibly one side of the ball. And that is that linebacker side. I do think we will be seeing Greenlaw at some point. But it's just the
allegedly
the Singleton stuff is really concerning.
Yeah, it's bad. And Vance Joseph got out coached. I'm gonna just sit here and say it. He for sure did get out coached. But he always does it against premier offensive play callers. He will tend to get out coached, and we saw this straight up when in the first drive of the game. Y'all go watch all 22. I don't know what possessed this man to say, Brandon Jones, you're going to be guarding Josh Downs. But, brother, Josh Downs had like 50. I think he had like 60 yards on the first 2 drives of the game. I was like, bro, you got to get Brandon Jones up off of him, bro. He's getting cooked. But, I mean, this is something. But Vance, look, he adjusted. But, yeah, Shane Steichen ran laps around him. I'm going to be real on. He ran laps around Vance Joseph on Sunday. It was a clinic.
You guys talking about Alex Singleton? I'm over here thinking like, bro, Justin's or not, man.
They're both just.
He's over here making business decisions in week 2. I cannot think of any other way to describe what happened on that pass to Tyler Warren down the sideline. Which, like, putting Justin Strnad on Tyler Warren, first of all.
Real quick, how many of you guys had very quick images to Bucky Irving on that? You know, like when Bucky Irving,
I remember that.
You literally just destroyed Alex Singleton on, you know, his juke. Like it was.
Wasn't that the play where Singleton tore his ACL?
It might have been the play where I think he did tear his ACL, yeah. But it was just you had Justin Strnad going one way, Alex Singleton going the exact same way. That was literally literally a picture of what that linebacking core is. And I think that like that's the thing, right? Is like Singleton is like he's a serviceable starter, but also when I say that he's a serviceable where he's replaceable.
Very.
You know, and Justin Strnad, I don't want to be too harsh on the guy, but it's like he showed who he is, right? Yeah. Like he's just a depth linebacker, you know? And it's one where it's like
he can blitz.
It's just one where it's like the Broncos have a decision to make. And once Greenlaw does come back, it's like there's a green dot conversation because Alex Singleton has the green dot. And the moment he doesn't have the green dot, frankly, is the moment he probably should be off the team.
Lord Jesus.
Dude, has linebacker become the right tackle position on the defense?
Or quarterback,
for real.
Right tackle.
It's just, I feel like we've been saying we need a linebacker for a decade.
It goes, at least for me, like Justin Strnad is a good rotational linebacker at best. It would it actually be worse if, and it was even crazy to even get that notification when Lavelle Bailey got cut off the 53-man roster, yet we brought him back practice squad. Would it be worse with him on the field? Because Lavelle Bailey had a nice film last season.
Karen Reed did too in preseason this year.
Like it can't be that much worse unless like we really haven't seen their true colors yet. But like I'm hoping Dre Greenlaw, listen, I know he didn't practice again today. If he is not back by this Chargers game, that timeline on social media is going to be a fun one. But I would love to see Lavelle Bailey get suited up and get some snaps. I mean, it can't be worse.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this is rock bottom, so I don't think he can go anywhere else.
Yeah, and like Vance doesn't play. He don't like playing young guys like that. He's not, bro. Lavelle Bailey he needs to play. It needs to be him and Greenlaw at this point. Because I'm gonna be real with you. Any elite team we play, they're going after 49. They've seen it. They gonna put him. Yeah. Bro, I watched him call out to Strnad, get on Taylor, and him literally still follow Jonathan Taylor after telling Strnad to get on Taylor and let Tyler Warren run right past him. I mean, I was like, oh my God. In the play where he gave up the 68-yard run to Jonathan Taylor, dude flat out tripped. He just, I don't know what happened on that play. I think he tripped over Cooper's leg, but bro, you literally had the gap to yourself and you just fell. Like, I mean, it was definitely a terrible game for him. But yeah, we need Greenlaw back ASAP. I ain't even gonna say we need him back. We need him to finally suit up. Like, I get the first 2 weeks of the season, we had the Colts and the Titans. I get it. They didn't really think we were gonna drop any one of those games, but bro, we gonna need you this week.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's playing, man.
It's a divisional game
today.
We need you.
Sorry, go ahead, Jordan.
No, I was just saying, like, it's the Chargers. It's winner gets first place in the division and would probably have a pretty good grip on the division for a few weeks. I mean, Greenlaw has to at least suit up.
Do you guys think? I mean, he didn't practice today.
Well, but I
get veteran practice as a Wednesday. You never know.
Well, but I was gonna say, like, to be fair, I think Greenlaw is like missed every single Wednesday. I think, like, as far as a practice, like that's even when he's been healthy. Like he's missed, I think, Wednesday break. And I think that, like, for me, like, there's a part of me when I'm looking at the Dre Greenlaw situation where I'm like, he's also coming from a team in the 49ers where, if we're being honest, like, they've been kind of known to rush players back from injury. You know, like, and they've been injured a lot, right? The 49ers have been injured a lot. And, so Christian McCaffrey's banged up as of right now. Kittle is obviously banged up right now. And then they put Greenlaw back in at the latter part of this season, or the latter part of last season, if you will. And so I think that, like, obviously at the end of the day, it is vastly more important for Greenlaw to be healthy. But I think the other side of it is, like, they do need him in this game. But I think, as we kind of look at it, even from the Charger side of things, it's like the running game also is not great for the Chargers right now. Like, it actually looks really bad. Not to say that things can change. But I think that there's also, another side of this where, to go a step further with going away from Greenlaw, where it's like, there's probably one more injury that we probably should be focusing on just a little bit more, that he needs to come back once he's healthy. And obviously that won't be for a little bit, but I'm not overly concerned with the run defense, but it's evident they miss Malcolm Roach's depth.
Man, bro, it's crazy. His impact is like, when he when he got hurt, I was like, damn, that's gonna hurt a little bit. But yeah, we definitely miss him, because I don't know what it is. It's like our Jonathan Taylor going for $165 is absolutely absurd. But like you said, the Chargers, they've been struggling to run the football, and I don't want the game where they finally figure it out to be against the Broncos. But I think they're gonna try to heavy run the ball on us, because they know, like,
it's the Harbaugh way.
Yeah, like, it's the Harbaugh way, but they also know that their receivers aren't going to get crazy separation on us. I'm expecting Pat to be on Keenan Allen for probably the whole game. I think they're going to just switch off on Ladd.
I don't even know if Ladd's going to play.
Oh,
he didn't practice today, right?
He didn't practice today. It's a biceps injury.
Okay, well, he doesn't play. Prayers to him, but that'll be great for us, especially for this week, because this is the type of game where it'll hold the outlook on the division for the rest of the season until we play them again. So it's definitely a big week. But yeah, as far as the defense goes, I'm just worried about the linebacker position. I think our secondary is going to bounce back fine. Yeah. I think Vance really went into this lineup not expecting the Colts to be this good, and that's on him. You got out-coached. Yeah. First of all, you just played this team at the end of last season. You should know kind of what they are. You know they're going to scheme to get their guys. You know Saints Titans a dog. And you went out there and you thought you could put one of your safeties on their best receiver. And you got torched. I mean, that's just what happens. But I think for the rest of the season, they'll bounce back. Greenlaw will play. Hufanga looks amazing. I can't even believe Hufanga looks great. He saved that touchdown from Jonathan Taylor. Even though I think they scored anyway. But bro, that man was in a full out. He was running for his life, and he made a great play. But, yeah, I'm expecting a big bounce back game in this Chargers, especially Herbert's been riding hot. I think Pat and them been hearing this noise about, the defense ain't what it is, and they're going to come out.
I think the defense is definitely going to have a bounce back game against the Chargers for sure. Like, specifically the pass rush. We might get another 6-sack game, man. That's going to be
if it's
cinema. Because I would give, like, you said the Colts top 8, top 7 offensive line. I wouldn't mind if they in their top 3. They're really good offense.
They were crazy last year. If you go watch, Anthony Richardson had time, bro. He just couldn't make a read to save his life. But I mean, Quentin Nelson and I think they lost their starting center. Doesn't matter, bro. Yeah, they got tackles, they got guards, bro. They're great in run pro and pass pro, like dominant wise. Like, I mean, they were tossing. I mean, Nick Bonito really, he had a lot of pressures, but he had one chance to get home, and that was, I think, the last third down of the game when
it was close.
Pittman on the slant. He was so close, but I mean, bro, Quentin Nelson and them boys, they took Zach Allen out the game. I mean, I was like, God damn. Like,
Tyler Warren kind of blocked Nick Bonito a little bit.
Yeah.
Tyler Warren is ridiculous, man. I wanted him so bad. Like, there was no way, but
man, he's like, and I know Pat was hurt, so I'm not really gonna say that was a terrible game for him. The dude obviously rolled his ankle; he couldn't even walk. But when Tyler one-on-one with Tyler Warren won. And I was like, okay, yeah, he's gonna be disgusting for the rest of this season. They're gonna be throwing him. I'm telling you, he's gonna be probably an 1,000-yard tight end this season for sure. For sure. Vikings about to force feed him the rock.
But he's the leading candidate for offensive rookie of the year. Like it's actually it's not even close.
He started about Ibuka, bro. I'm still sick. Like
Ibuka would have been.
This is you're preaching to the choir. It's the
chef's kiss.
And it's not the Broncos. It's mainly Ibuka since draft season.
It's like I said it when I went over all the receivers that he was the best receiver in the class, and I'm like, bro, he's there. I forgot what pick we had. We had 20. I'm like,
20. Bro, you went 19.
So when Tampa took him, when I tell you my heart dropped, I said, why did they take this man, bro? Like, why? Like, they got McMillan, they got Godwin back. Why they take Ibuka? And this man, arguably their best receiver on the team. And we threw 2 games, and this man got how many touchdowns? 4?
3.
Bro, I'm sick about that, bro. I'm like imagine us with Ibuka. Like,
you cannot tell me that was not the plan. And then the Buccaneers.
Or that he was on a very, very, very short list.
I think he was the pick. And then the Bucs were like, fuck you.
Well, there were like 2 picks that were like, I think in trade up candidate territory, and it was Ashton Jency and Tyler Warren. Like I think that those were the 2 players that the Broncos probably wanted in a trade up. But when it came to standing pat, it was probably Ibuka. But I don't know. Like I don't.
I think it had to be. It's no way he was not the pick.
But stylistically, he fit it to a T.
I would have given up.
Jordan's smiling over there.
Unreal things to get Tyler Warren.
Because he.
I mean, it solved so many. I mean, he had as many touchdowns in one game the Sun had a catch last game. I mean, it would solve so many problems with that consistency within the offense. But I mean, just to stay on the defensive side of the ball, and now coming up against the Chargers in Week 3, Nick Benito is going to have a really, really big.
Might have a huge day.
That him against Joe Alt is going to be a very, very interesting thing on how that goes. I think Joe Alt also has like the lowest pressure rate right now through 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Nick Benito has more pressures than like 4 teams right now in the NFL. So that's going to be a huge matchup. The one that is going to have a big game, like he needs to have a big game in order for us to win.
Alex Singleton
Alex Singleton just needs to be average. But the one that needs to have it is Jonathan Cooper on the other side.
I was going to say, I think Jonathan Cooper's going to eat.
Yeah, we can't we can't really bank on Benito getting another 6-7 pressures. Like he's facing against an all-pro type of guy. We need the other side to really step up, whether it's going to be Jonathan Cooper, whether we rotate with Jonah Ellis as well, who's been phenomenal. Whether we get pressure.
He's been insane.
Yeah. Whether we get pressure from the interior as well, I think Zach Allen should have a good game as well. But we really can't bank on Benito having another monster game. It's gonna have to be guys like Cooper, Ellis, Zach Allen, even guys like DJ Jones every once in a while getting in there. So we have to bank on those guys.
Dude, I love Jonathan Cooper so much, but they have to find a way to get Ellis more snaps.
Man, bro, he's
manufacture them.
Dog, him against the run is just so like he blows up run plays. Like and in the bro, he's just like Brandon said, bro. He's got to get more snaps. There's just no way.
I think that is it forecasting the future a little bit? But everybody was forecasting Ellis replacing Benito. Honestly, Ellis might be the one that's replacing Jonathan Cooper.
But Jonathan Cooper just signed a deal.
I know, but I'm just saying, like in the grand scheme of things, that's probably the one that you would be wanting to look at. But I just think that one where I think they do get a lot more pressures on Herbert in this game. And, I think that, Herbert, he can move around the pocket every once in a while, but he's also been known to take sacks, right? Like he's been known to take sacks. And I think that one area where I think that the Broncos might get a little bit more creative here is I know we were talking about, possibly Benito on Joe Alt. I think they might actually mix it around, specifically. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Specifically like mix it around where, they'll actually free up opportunities for Benito, free up opportunities for Jonah Ellis, free up opportunities for Jonathan Cooper. We might even get a chance to see some NASCAR packages, if you will. So
I think it was the game last year against the Chargers where we saw Benito and Cooper on the same side.
Yes.
Of the right. I think that was the same game too.
And obviously he's not here, but that was also, I think, the game where Drew Sanders ran up the middle and sacked Justin Herbert. But like
him, bro, Jesus,
he's eligible, I think, to return week 6.
I just need that brother just to stay. Can you give me 10 games, bro? Please. That's all I need is 10, bro. Damn.
But so I think when you do look at this Chargers game in general, Chargers Bronco game, it's gonna be a dogfight. Like I will say, I'm expecting like a Big Ten football type game. Like it's gonna be ugly. Like it's gonna be like a game where I think it might. And my thing is like I think it's gonna be low scoring. If it's high scoring, I'm gonna be really surprised by it.
Yeah, me too.
And I think that it'll favor both teams, of course, if it's a low-scoring game. And I think that, as much as I think that Justin Herbert and Bo Nix, to a certain degree, specifically early in his career, have shown to be efficient quarterbacks, right? Like efficient decision-making quarterbacks. I think we see a little bit of some decision-making problems with Justin Herbert in this game. And I think that the Broncos kind of take advantage of it a little bit. I don't know about turnovers and the points, but I think that there's a very real chance Herbert gets 2 turnovers in this game.
Yeah, I could definitely see Herbert. I don't know. It's something about us and SoFi that I just feel really good about. I just got that feeling the fans gonna take it over. I got a feeling that, just like you said, you took everything I was about to say, Cam. I mean, I think they're gonna definitely move Benito. I don't think they're gonna let him just go 1-on-1 with Joe off the whole game. I think they're gonna definitely move him around and get him on that other side and let him feast. But I definitely think this is gonna be one of those games where it's gonna be tough for the Chargers to put up points. And I'm more comfortable, I will say, our offense against their defense than vice versa. I think that this is going. I mean, because to be honest, we should have beat them the last time we played them in SoFi on Thursday night. I'm still sick about that game. I still cannot believe that we found a way to blow that game. But I definitely think this is going to be one of those games where everybody counting out the Broncos. Everybody is, all ready to write us off. And then we're going to go in there and handle business. And I think it's going to start with the defense having, like Brandon said, I've been saying, man, it's going to be a big bounce back game. I could definitely see Herbert turning the ball over, though. I don't know if it'll be picks. He's playing too much at a high level right now. I don't think he's going to throw any picks. But I could definitely see us getting
He's due for one, though.
He's due for one. I could definitely see us getting home and forcing some fumbles, though, for sure.
Yeah. And Justin Herbert looks
insane.
Yeah.
So good right now. Like, I hate it. I actually hate it. But I definitely think the defense is going to have, for sure, a bounce back game, specifically the pass rush. I mean, I think Nick Benito is going to eat. I think Jonathan Cooper is going to eat. Zach Allen is going to be pissed, which you don't want Zach Allen to be. So it's going to be a good game. I guess I'm a little bit more worried about their defense. I think Jesse Minter is like a very good defensive coordinator. And I mean, it's kind of that, is he good? Is he not good? Kind of game with Geno Smith right now. I mean, like for a bit there in Seattle, he looks really good. And then like he just looks like absolutely terrible and atrocious to the point where like Seattle fans wanted Russ back, which like, did they not watch Russ for the past 3 years? But whatever.
Or dogged us when we were.
Yeah. But Geno looked so bad against the Chargers. This scares me a little bit, even though I know I said what I wanted Bo to do, which is like, take a straight drop back, set your feet, and throw a middle of the field 15-yard ball. It might be hard to do that against the Chargers. I'm going to be honest. Like, I'm pretty sure Geno Smith was like the first quarterback, I don't know exactly since when, but in a very long time to attempt, 12 or more passes at 10 yards or more down the field and not complete a single one is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I will say Khalil Mack is on IR. I think that and I will say the Raiders' offensive line is not our offensive line. It's It's bad over there right now. I mean, they can't run the ball. Like they just cannot generate any run protection whatsoever. But I think it's gonna be a very different task. I don't think they're gonna be as dominant as they was. Definitely getting home like they were against the Raiders. I think the offensive line is way better, and it's no Khalil Mack. I think Bo's gonna have some time, like he always does. I mean, offensive line is incredible. I want to give them a huge shout out. I mean, Ben Powers is definitely having himself a great start to the season.
Glynchy too.
Yeah, McGlinchey. I mean, I would like, bro. Bo he be having almost all day to throw the ball. I mean, Jesus makes me sick. We just need a guy. But I mean, yeah, like I definitely think as far as their defense gets our offense, I think it's going to be a way different story than it was against the Raiders.
Yeah. Jordan over there.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of how like this game's gonna go, I believe it's gonna be a dogfight as well. It's a classic divisional game. I do believe that the defense has a major bounce back game. I think everyone should expect that, knowing the guys that we have in the locker room. In terms of the offense, I do believe this is a very heavy play action type of game, which, by the way, and I know J-Mac knows because I've talked about all year last year, the best offenses come from under the center and utilizing play action a lot. I think this is the game where you finally do that the majority of the time. We've been running the ball pretty well. We're going to, or at least we should expect the Chargers would want to stop the run first. And that's where you hit them with a heavy play action, take some shots down the field, hit your intermediate guys over the middle of the field and stuff. So I do believe that we'll see another step in the right direction for the offense. I think as the season progresses, it'll just be step by step by step, and which is a good thing. But I do believe that defense shows up and then offense takes that next step, and we get some big plays.
I will say I don't think the Broncos are being swept by the Chargers this year. I mean, I think it's pretty evident it's going to be split. Like it's going to be a split one for the Broncos and Chargers this year. But it wouldn't be surprised because, we are talking about a really tough AFC West where a team might surprise you and actually sweep them. So because in the specifically ugly games, it can happen. And I think the other part of it too is like we talk about how like the sports psychology aspect and motivation for players. There's going to be some motivation for some of these players. Like, like J.K. Dobbins, returning to SoFi, playing against a Harbaugh, not with a Harbaugh this time. So and also too, I will say, Pat Surtain had a bad game, if you will, relative, like had a bad game, but he's also going to play the Chargers, a team early on in the season last year. He was knocked out, if we all recall. He was knocked out. It was such a bizarre game too. Like Surtain got knocked out. Harbaugh went out for like a quarter and a half or something.
That's right.
And that was like early on in the season. So I just think PS2 is going to have like, I think he's going to be pretty extra motivated for this game. And I think that probably for me, if there's like a underrated matchup, it's going to be QJ. Who's going to be on QJ? Because I know it's early, but he at least has shown up at the early part of this season, and he is a big-bodied wide receiver. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of DB is going to end up being on, Johnston. Is it going to end up being Riley, right? Like, or are they going to end up putting, Jaquan McMillan on, Ladd if he ends up playing, or are they going to putting Riley on Ladd, or maybe in Jade Barron on Ladd? I think it would be a little bit too much for a rookie to be on Ladd McConkey, but I don't know. I think the other part of it too is right. Chris Abrams' drain had a pick against Justin Herbert.
Yeah, that's true.
So maybe a little bit more Chris Abrams' drain too, just schematically. I don't know. Like, all right. Before we go, we have to at least address not the best for last, the worst for last. Special teams.
Lord Jesus.
So there's a way I would probably want to preface this in a sense, and it's for me. I think that like, was there a possible leverage on the play? Yes. But I think that, and I know J-Mac and Jordan, I know, and Brandon, we're big basketball fans. But it's like, what are those situations where it's like late in the game, 2 seconds on the clock, the guy's getting ready to shoot a game-winning three, and it seems like it's a pretty clear foul, right? But more often than not, the refs don't call it, right? But there's just times where it gets called. It's just a rare opportunity where it finally got called. So it's like, what happens the 100% of the times it's not called, you know? So it's just, it's interesting because it's like, yeah, it happened, but you also rarely see it called.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go first on this, but like being at the stadium, it looked like nothing, at least from my like I even recorded it on my phone, and then I
You were
really
also
started
sitting like
celebrating.
500,000 yards away, though.
Nah, I had pretty good seats. But like at the time being, obviously being at the stadium, like I had no idea what was going on. There was a good 5 to 10 seconds where we were 2-0 in my mind, and then
5 seconds.
all I hear
That's
is
being
fans just
behind.
saying, yeah, and all I hear is fans just saying there's a flag, and I just don't understand. And then looking at the replay, this is my thing. I understand why it's like why it was called,
Yeah.
because the way it was like how it looked. But if it has no impact on the kick whatsoever, I don't think that needs to be called. And again, looking through like a Broncos fan vision and eyes, of course I'm gonna say that, but like it had no impact on the kick. I saw Pat McAfee talk about it with AJ Hawk and some former NFL players. Like they were even like joking about like, yeah, that was leverage, yeah, but like deep down inside, like that you don't call that.
You
Like
sure about that? Because McAfee's a Colts fan.
no, but he was joking about it with AJ Hawk. I mean, they were like that's a tough one to call. So it was interesting to see former players talking about it, and then just seeing the reactions on social media and everything like that. Even though when Will Lutz missed his kick, which was I don't
Voodoo.
know what voodoo magic was in that stadium, but that ball was going straight down the middle, and then it just
Bro, not for real. It just took I've never seen anything like that. Like, because I watched the kick, I'm like, what? Aren't they in a dome? Like,
yeah. Yeah, there was no air in there. That all the windows were closed. I can't confirm. But man,
I'm like, bro, how did the ball just hook? Like, I mean, it was straight line and then just said, fuck it, I'm not going to the
Yeah.
like I guess I know a
Yeah.
lot of people say like Will Lutz, whenever he kicks, he has like a natural draw on his kick, but that wasn't just like a draw. That was a pretty big, like out of nowhere, really quick. But yeah, the leverage call was bad. I know Sean Payne took the blame for it, and
As he should.
was trying to take the heat off of Dan Rizzi and the players, but I don't know, man. Trying to have a defensive stunt on the line like that to try to block a 60-yarder.
60-yarder, yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it's just it's bad coaching at the end of the day. It's bad execution. It's bad everything.
Yeah, regarding that Lutz field goal kick was like Brandon on the number 1 tee box. I mean, that thing was shanked.
I mean, I will say for
I
me,
refuse to answer that.
It's one of those things where I was upset about it and I wasn't upset about it because they did commit the penalty, but it's like you call it in that moment. It's kind of like I don't
It's
know.
like the basketball stuff, right? Like calling it last minute.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, it was a flag, but it's such a like petty flag that, in 99% of other games going on is not being called, and you decide to, in that specific moment, to alter the game, you're gonna call that, you're gonna throw that flag. I mean, it is what it is. They still shouldn't have leveraged or whatever the hell they did to touch the center. They still shouldn't have done it. Just to be more disciplined in that, but it was a petty call. As far as the Lutz missed field goal goes, I mean, that was just unfortunate. Like, I will say I'm a firm believer in he got one more. You miss one more big time field goal, my guy. You. I don't know. The Jordan said there's some voodoo magic. I don't know, bro. But if you miss one more 40, it's really a chip shot, bro. It was not that long of a field goal. It was shorter than the one Schrader kicked. I think that's his name. It was 42-yarder, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nah, bro. You can't miss no 42-yarder in a dome, bro.
Isn't it weird too for Lutz? Because I think isn't he one where, I mean, it's relative. Like we never really have, kicked field goals in NFL games, but it's like relative in the sense like he's far more accurate of 50 or more than he is like in 40, right? Like
I hate those things, man.
So it's just it's kind of crazy. But yeah, I don't know. I think there's also probably another thing that at least needs to be addressed, and it's week 2. Obviously, Rizzy has been heralded as a special teams guru. I have to preface it that way. That said, though, even despite the fact Sean Payton has been heralded as a special teams guru at times, this is what now the third special teams blunder for the Broncos. Like you had the famous one. So
yeah, I mean the punter looked like crap in preseason, and then he comes out and he looks great, and then the kicker is all of a sudden looking shaky. So I don't know what the hell's going on. I just know they better practice and get this shit together because we can't be having those special teams mistakes. Marvin Mims muffed a kick, all pro, just out here randomly muffed a punt. I mean, it's like the most random shit didn't happen these first 2 weeks. I'm like, bro, what the hell is going on? Like, it's mistakes that we haven't made in a while. It's crazy.
It's incredibly frustrating.
Are we worried about the special teams on Sunday or no?
Can't not be.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. You gotta be, because Harbaugh is one of those old school coaches. Harbaugh will get the ball if they get the ball at the 10. Oh, brother, he's playing check move for that field. If the Chargers get the ball at the 10-yard line or they get bad field position, he's gonna intentionally punt and try to pin you. Like he loves to play chess moves with special teams. So if your special teams is not flawless against the Chargers, or at least remotely close to being on your game, oh yeah, we're gonna lose.
The other part is Cameron Dicker is the most efficient, right, kicker in NFL history. So. Yep. It's one where it might actually end up being a weapon, for the Chargers on this.
Yeah. Me personally, I think we'll win it. I think the last time we played it, I would say the 2 games last year, Pat gets hurt in the second game. They get that absolutely bullshit, fair free kick, whatever the hell that was, where he got
another special teams blunder.
Bro, bro. So I'm hoping that this time we play the Chargers, it's not some Disney Channel bullshit that happens and it's the reason why we lose the game, bro. I'm like, can we just get him up out of here, bro? Because I'll be honest with you, we match up well with the Chargers. It low key should be a going there. Let's just handle business and get up out of there. But you never know with the Chargers. Always something happening. I'm like, we going into halftime. Good lead, yeah. Hold up, flag on the play. Chargers gonna attempt a free kick. What the hell is a free kick? You get to just run and kick the ball as far as you can, and hopefully it makes it in the field goal range. Nobody can block it. It's the most insane shit I've ever seen, bro.
But as far as ending on a positive best note, if you will, with special teams, we touched on it briefly. Jeremy Crawshaw, dude, really turned it around. I think every single punt has been inside the 20. So, talk about turning it around. Okay,
some voodoo shit going on.
I think they replaced him. They put someone else in his jersey.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, shanking in the preseason to just coming out in the regular season, no problem in the world. I'm trying to figure out, was he just bullshitting on purpose? No, I'm being for real. Because,
he was hustling.
Yeah, he was just yeah, I'm gonna just, I don't really give a fuck about this game. I'm just whatever.
Or it's like if you're a golfer, it's I'm going to practice my flop shot, or I'm going to practice my fade or my draw. I'm just going to he's practicing certain things on his punts or something, and he's just shanking everything, and he's and he's finally, going to, exactly what he's been known for, and that's just booming the ball and downing people inside the 20.
Yep.
But all right. Well, okay. So J-Mac, you're saying a win.
No, I'm not. I think we're gonna lose.
Oh. Okay.
The fan in me is expecting a win. The realist, I think we're gonna lose the game. I think the Chargers secondary is gonna match up very well against our receivers, and I think that's the ultimate downright to this game. I think I'm sorry, I just don't see us having too much success in that department. I think if we win the game, it's gonna be because of the defense. But like, if the defense isn't playing at an elite level, I think the Chargers are gonna pull this out. That's just yeah.
Close or double digits?
Yeah, no, I think it's for sure going to be close. I think the game is going to be like 23-17, 21-17. It's going to come down to something, and we're just like I'm just expecting to go into the game, and we're going to look like we're going to struggle a little bit to start the game offensively. Tar Heap Steele, Cam Hart, and Dante Jackson. I'm gonna tell you right now, like if I see one play where Dante Jackson is playing at 14. I'm going to absolutely lose my shit, bro. If I see small Dante Jackson jamming you at the line of scrimmage, like, bro, I'm going to lose my shit. Because Kenny Moore was jamming you, bro. How that happens, me personally, I don't know. I don't know how you 6'4", 5'9" guy lock you up on a slot fade. I don't know, but, hey, man, shit happens.
Doesn't Sutton actually perform well against the Chargers?
He does. And
He does.
I'm hoping he could have one of those games, but am I uber confident in him going in and having a monster game? Absolutely not. My expectations were low. I picked him to be the offensive player of the game last week, and he let me down. I think letting me down, unfortunately, is putting it lightly. I picked you to be the offensive player of the game, and you had one catch for 6 yards against Mekhi Blackman. Yeah, I'm gonna be out for you in this one, for sure.
I think you need to pick Quentin Johnston as the offensive player of the game.
Yeah, I'm hoping Riley Moss
it's a curse, man.
Have a bounce back game. I think he will, though.
Yeah.
I think he will against Quentin Johnston. I'm not too worried about Quentin Johnston. I mean,
what about you, Brandon? You're a Justin Herbert truther. You've loved him since day one. Obviously, it's one where I probably am reading between the lines here, knowing you, and it is not a Denver Broncos win.
No, I don't think so. I think it's going to be closer. I think the defense is going to be good, but Justin Herbert is on an absolute tear right now, and Bo is not. I do think it's going to be better.
So,
hopefully,
evil.
It's going to be.
Is it like so evil?
It's just true, man.
Justin Herbert has been amazing, and Bo Nix is not.
That's just the pain in my voice. But I do think it's probably going to be – I think it's going to be competitive, but I think we're going to lose. I don't know. We'll see. But I have a feeling that it's not like every year we talk about the Chargers are going to win the AFC West. The Chargers are going to go on this huge run or whatever, and it just never happens. And it's just like – I think it might happen. I don't know.
It also could mean the Chargers Charger again, right?
Like, it could be.
It could, but man,
I hope so, but
that would be a blunder of epic proportions.
Hey, man.
From what we've seen so far.
Mm.
And that's without a running game, really. I mean, Harbaugh's favorite thing doesn't even work, and they look like this.
What's your score
prediction? If they get that together.
What's your score prediction then?
24-17.
Okay. I was expecting.
I don't think it's going to be high scoring. I mean, that might even be a little high, but I think it's going to be close. But there's going to be it'll be competitive, but not necessarily close.
Yeah, I just want to put this out there. Rookies tend to usually have a really great game, especially offensive rookies against the Broncos. So I'm expecting Marion Hampton to have his rookie showcase. Tyler Warren did last week for sure.
Could you imagine though for the Broncos Twitter community?
Yeah, I mean Cam Ward had a great, he didn't have a great game, but he put a really nice showing up. I think Marion Hampton is next in line. I think Marion Hampton they're gonna pound the rock with that brother.
If Amari and Hampton and Trey Harris both show up, I'm going to cry because I love both of those players, and they both went to the Chargers.
Also, it'll be one of those things where they're the type to not play Quentin Johnson a lot and just throw Trey Harris at us and be like, yeah, y'all thought y'all was getting QJ. We got something for y'all. And we just get blindsided.
I was going to say, saying Cam Ward played really well, now it's all of a sudden going to go to Jordan's head, since he's a Miami Hurricanes fan and he's like the biggest Cam Ward fan on the planet.
Cam Ward
but he's really good though. Yeah.
Cam Ward will be top 5 after his
that play that he made this Sunday, I forget who caught it, was insane. That might have been one of the best plays I've ever seen from a quarterback.
Yeah, he will be top 5 in the league after his 3rd season.
All right, J-Lo. What's your score prediction?
I think Sean, at least from what we've seen, this team has dealt with heartbreaking losses before. They've bounced back pretty well. Knowing it's gonna be a divisional game, it's gonna be closely contested. There's really not a home field advantage for the Chargers because
they have 7 fans.
Yeah, and Broncos country usually takes over that stadium relatively easy. I do believe it is the perfect storm of a heartbreaking loss for Denver. They're going to bounce back and have the right mentality. Denver defense didn't have a good showing last week. They're going to have a big bounce back. And then the offense takes another step in the right direction. Chargers are hot. They're due for a little letdown. I think it's a perfect storm. I got the Broncos 23-21 on a game-winning field goal.
The way he built that up, I was actually expecting it to be like, oh, the Broncos are going to win 24-14, like a two-score advantage.
Will Lutz redemption game-winning field goal. I like it.
Seven field goals for Will Lutz. But no, J-Mac, this was awesome, man. So you do a show. You do a Broncos show called Orange Crush Hour with Denver Trev. Where can people watch that show, listen to it, and what else do you got cooking?
Oh yeah, man. You can watch it on YouTube. We're on Spotify. I'm gonna start posting some stuff for the Instagram as well. As far as cooking up, I got my own page that I run, JMX Sports. If you guys want to follow me on there, I did just hit 100K today on TikTok, so I am finna celebrate once I get off of here for sure. But yeah, man. Yeah, man. And you can follow me on Instagram at JMX Sports. All you guys want to DM me Bronco stuff, go ahead. I respond to all you guys, even the ones that hate me. I for sure will respond to you guys. But yeah, man, check us out at Orange Crush Hour. We just started, and we're it's fun, man. I will say it's very fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I think that's like the one thing about Broncos podcast. It's a lot, but we're a family, and we will support that family through and through. So absolutely, no doubt. Make sure you tune into J-Mac and everything that he's doing. I'm a little bit upset because it took J-Mac like maybe a full year or two to finally follow me back on Instagram.
I didn't know, man. I didn't I saw you on my suggestion. I was like, I didn't follow him back. Well, I probably just didn't.
But no, we're all good. We buried the hatchet, but no, you are welcome back anytime, and maybe we can actually do a crossover episode with you and Trav.
Yeah.
At some point, maybe during the season or in the off season and stuff. But no, it was a blast having you on. And to everybody that is watching the show, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like. Make sure you hit the subscribe. Subscribe to the MHRT Network page. And this is a reminder once again that we are pushing to 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I know we're at 1.5. But let's get to 2,000. Obviously, we just started the Mainly Broncos YouTube channel. So make sure to subscribe for Mainly Broncos. And we are doing short form. We are doing short form content of clips from shows like these. You actually might get a chance to hear clips of J-Mac rambling or Jordan rambling or even Brandon rambling about how good Justin Herbert is. We might actually, get a chance to even, talk about me in a golf game from this episode. So make sure you get a chance to see that over there on Instagram, TikTok, Of course, we post some clips over there on Twitter as well, which is at Manly Broncos. So make sure you tune into that. And then until next time, hopefully we're talking about a Denver Broncos victory.
Let's go Broncos! God bless Bo Nix!
Fast lane when I pass in the street, bag of money in the passenger seat. Tempo's been asking for me on the road from the west to the east. Way up, I might never come down, cause the coast racking up the flame miles.